mind, and I'm okay with that.
Just related to the lawsuit, normally a government has immunity from civil suits, and as I understand it, the claim is tort negligence against the city. Normally, isn't the city immune from that type of suit?
Well, I can't speak to that. I'm going to let the city attorney deal with that end. Okay. I'm going to be the mayor. I'm going to let him be the lawyer. Right. You know, that's why we pay him such huge dollars.
All right.
Although we are operating on some, we're being very frugal, and with the budget that's passed, there's no added pay raise for him. So I'm going to let him be creative in his response. Right. We'll see. I think the people who file the lawsuit simply want the city, to the degree that it can, to be responsive to their concerns. I got that, I understand that, and we intend to be responsive.
Mayor Turner, I realize you were not in office when the Safe Clear contracts were approved last summer. I realize that, I know. Knowing now that there was some sort of lapse in the vetting process, will you rebid the Safe Clear program?
I don't know about rebidding it. We're looking at all of our possible options on it, but I can't tell you whether or not it's going to be rebid. I know there's about $23 million that we can pull down from the feds, and a lot will depend on what happens there. And I know one of the reasons why there was a question as to whether or not we had to rebid is because the feds do not allow Houston first. So to the extent they don't allow Houston first, and if that then means we have to rebid, then we will do that because they don't allow Houston first. Short of that, I just hadn't made a determination on it.
And do you have any idea when you have to make that determination? Would those funds go away at some point?
That I don't have the answer to. I don't. Do any of you have that? Any idea when we have to if we have to rebid, when we have to rebid on the Safe Clear program? I don't know the answer to that. I have to get the answer. I don't know the answer.
And so if you don't end up having to rebid for that, say we can get this grant money or we work that out where we're able to get the grant money, I mean, is there going to be any sort of looking again at all these companies that are Safe Clear operators and any concerns that were expressed before they were approved on their histories?
I think we'll certainly take a look at all of them as we move forward. Before we activate it, we'll make sure that we do our due diligence. Let me just say that. Just like we did under the airport contracts that I decided not to go forward on, and we started the process all anew. And so we'll take a look to make sure that as we move forward, that we do our proper due diligence.
So no, people have raised these concerns. I'm just asking from a layperson. I don't know. Is it a money issue? I mean, what would be the problem of rebidding it, since there's so many questions about the companies involved in the program?
I don't know if there's a necessity to do rebid. If there is, we will do it. I do know the only issue that was brought to me was with reference to the fact that because we instituted Houston first in our selection process, that goes contrary to the federal guidelines. And to the extent we will have to rebid to satisfy those requirements, because I don't want to lose $23 million coming from the feds, then we'll do what we need to do to be in compliance. Other than that, quite frankly, my focus has been so much on the budget that I just hadn't spent a lot of time focusing on the Safe Clear program.
Sure, I understand that. As a mayor-led council, head of the council, what are your thoughts on some of the communications that our report highlighted were happening between a council member and a contractor in the no contact period?
I have not seen any of those stories. So I can't
concern you that a council person would be talking with and meeting with and accepting donations?
I have not seen any of those stories. I've been so focused on just trying to pass this budget and close this this sinkhole right here. Amy, this is what I need you to talk about. Because I don't need a tow truck falling into a hole. And so we're patching the hole so the tow truck doesn't fall, and we're patching the sinkhole so that the city can stay financially viable and afloat. That's my primary thing. When I'm talking to people out of the city of Houston, they're concerned about making sure that this city is financially sound. And if the city is not financially sound, then we have a whole lot of problems. But I'm happy today because I can report that with the help of the members of City Council, we have met the concerns of people that matter most, and that's what I'm happy about.
Congratulations! Today. I have one other question, Mayor.
Is it about my budget?
No, I want to talk about.
I want to talk about.
I promise.
And a month early. let me just say,
Yeah.
we passed the budget a month early, no tax.
JT said he was here till 7 o'clock last year, PM.
At least.
That's
We passed it a month early, no tax, finished before noon, and it was done unanimously. Now, come on, now, you know that.
It's a good move.
Florian, do you have a budget question? I know you're waiting on something.
No, I don't have a budget question, sorry.
What you got?
The defibrillator question.
Oh, the defibrillator.
Can you just explain,
Yeah, we're not asking about it.
can you just explain what changed from last time when it was tagged to now?
One person tagged it, that tag was no longer, that period has passed and it was time to vote. It's been tagged 2 or 3 times. It was time to vote.
But I mean, what did you achieve that before was an issue? I think you renegotiated the contract.
Right, we ended up reducing the cost of that deal by $182,000. Quite frankly, it was a deal that was entered into last year. We've been in possession of the defibrillators and the AEDs since June of last year. Even if you tried to undo the arrangement, the city was going to be paying for it. I think in the end, the city council made a fiscally prudent decision today, and so we're moving forward.
Turn around.
Mayor, one other question.
Is it on my budget?
Yeah, sort of.
If it's on my budget, our turnaround Houston, which starts tomorrow. Turnaround Houston starts tomorrow. And this is indeed a second chance. So this, hey, I know you want to talk about something else, but look, you allow me to run my lap today. I'm running my lap today. I mean, look, when I came into office, there were so many people, and I can think of one in particular, who did not think that we could get this budget solved, okay? And you know, and there were a lot of skeptics out there. But this is a great day. Look, the sun is shining. The sun is shining at City Hall. The employee morale is high, okay? Employee morale is high. The city council members, no bickering today. No bickering. Hole is fixed and filled, and we are set up beautifully to deal with the bigger issues on the horizon. So I think we've created some tremendous momentum, and so for today, I just want y'all to help. What's the word for it on social media? It's
Trend.
Trend.
We were trending, Mayor, and you were number 2.
Help us to trend. Mike, put it on the Chronicle blog.
We're done. Already done.
Is it already done? See, now Amy, you need to.
Mayor, I used the hashtag, so I have one more question for you. I used the hashtag Houston Budget
It's about my
2016.
budget?
It is, and it says
Okay,
that it
it's about
passed
the budget.
unanimously,
It's about the budget.
$82 million under from last year.
That's right. Okay. Good.
So, one more question.
It's about the budget.
It's not. Yeah, but it's gonna be quick. Okay, improvement boards. Richard Gonzalez was approved last year, when you weren't here, to an improvement board. But Boykin says that there wasn't anything, there's no sort of checks to make sure that people who are approved to those boards don't have a criminal history. He said he wants to get with you to make that a regular background check. The people shouldn't be sitting on boards assessing taxes to other people and businesses if they themselves have
Well, I
done it.
think if you notice today, I'm very sensitive to discussing vendors or anything around this table. I don't think that's where those discussions need to take place. And I certainly don't want to be putting forth any positions that favors one particular entity or vendor over another. And so we're always going to operate with the highest degree of integrity. That's my goal. So we'll continue to do that. But for purposes of today, look, I would do this. I'll be more than happy to discuss this like tomorrow. If you lead out on channel 2 that says, budget is filled, the hole, the gap.
All right, we're done.
Let me be Vanna White, okay?